But the reason you can play this hero core a bit more now is a couple of things. First of all, Solar Bind. Obviously, this is not a new thing for this patch in particular, but giving minus magic resistance to the target means you can go for a Dagon build and do insane magical burst. But the really big change in this patch for Caudle in order to deal his burst more reliably is the fact that Illumina is a 3-second channel on all levels. So once this Illumina is level 4, it does the full ult damage as 1.1 second faster. And that is... Cannot be overstated how important that is. In addition to that, as a core, he's obviously getting levels fast. He's great at pushing waves. He's great at farming camps. And yeah, I'm expecting a Dagon build here from 9. But it's also just fun to see with Tundra. They pull out these like new strategies, right? They played the Wyvern mid. Now they're playing the Caudle mid. It's very refreshing to have these uncharacteristic builds. So I'm excited for that in particular, but there's also 9 other players in the game.
Which coincidentally, you know, we're looking at player 9, but Ku over here is getting bullied just a little bit here by Fata and Skeeter. Throw out the stun, just put a little bit of damage, a little bit of that Illuminate, not quite connecting. But yeah, no, it's always refreshing to see Tundra try something different, and I think it's one of those things where also, you know, the people that are truly great at the game are the ones that create a meta, not the ones that always follow it. So
right, I think there's a lot of good things to be said about creativity, not just because like first of all it shows something about your players' mentality about the game, right? And I think all of the top teams, really the ones that have had top 3 finishes, and especially the ones that have won tournaments, have had curveballs. Like you don't generally win tournaments by playing the same way and the same strategy the whole way, because the skill difference between teams is not so big anymore that there's just one team that's, you know, literally 50% better than everyone else and just beats them. Some people would maybe make the argument that that was LGD at the major, but I still think that a lot of the reason they won as convincing as they did was creativity and innovation. Speaking of which, we have even more on the side of Tundra here through a 5 Pango going Shield Crash level 1. That's also pretty unusual. And at the same time, we have T1 bringing some of their unique take to it, which is the first phase Treant Protector that most other teams didn't really rate as high as them. Zephyr loves this hero, or maybe he doesn't love it, but they love winning, so they pick Zephyr Treant. And yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here.
Now, the one thing I'm a little concerned about looking at Tundra's draft is the fact that when you have a Caudle going mid, that's a lot of magic damage.
Right.
And not necessarily a lot of being able to push, although
Skeeter is in trouble.
Be careful, because that slow being thrown out, here Fata trying to put some damage over onto Ku, but does end up having to pop those 1 charges. They need 1 more punch. Zephyr just walking right on up there. Gets himself first blood.
Yeah, this is one thing that is going to be a problem for Tundra a little bit, I think they're just outlane top. Like, just... Not in terms of necessarily skill, but just the strength of the lane that T1 bring here. Treant plus Windranger against 2 melee heroes, one of which is Wraith King, who kind of does almost nothing on level 1. Well, and the other one's 5 Pango. They even kill Snaking bot here with Whiteman, getting his level 2 there, using the Hex. Unexpected from Snaking there. So yeah, off to a good start in both side lanes here, T1. The winner on Tundra, actually. Looking at the gold distribution, kind of funny here. Top net worth in the game is 9 on his Caudle mid, and the next 5 are all Radiant. The 5 Lion having more net worth than the Bat until that point because of a kill. And yeah, T1 got what the panel were talking about. They got the Quap against Bat, right? And it's showing that that is a good matchup. Not only is it favorable for Quap, but she's in her safe lane. So it makes it a very one-sided lane.
Gosh, this harass coming out from Zephyr is becoming a bit of a problem here for Skeeter, especially when you consider all the slow and whatnot. This tree is hitting him pretty hard. Now, is this just a situation because of the fact that, you know, Fata is on a little bit of a different sort of 5 hero here, that they're not able to really, not that they want to be aggressive, but be able to get as much done?
The other 2 games we saw from Tundra today, Fata played a Bat and an Omni Knight, right? Oh, he's actually just dead here.
Yes, he is.
Okay, they want to give the kill to...
Oh, a lucky shot, but...
All right, well, that took a little bit longer than expected because they wanted to give the kill to Cuckoo and then they didn't even get it. The primary reason they can't play aggressively and accomplish much here is that their lane is just flat out weaker. Like, it's very hard for Pango plus Wraith King to fight into Treant Windranger because you're 2 melee heroes that have to fight into Nature's Grasp, right? The Treant can always place it, so both Wraith King and Pango need to run through it, and the damage is just overwhelming. You're slowed, you can't stick on him. He even has Boots and Orb of Venom on the Treant, so just naturally has the movement speed trade-off as well. Actually gonna go on Skitter again here, top lane. Zephyr doing so much damage. Nice shackle.
Beautiful shackle. Skeeter is just not having a good time in this lane, as again, forced back in this tree end is still very healthy. He's just able to walk right up to Skeeter, punch him. Do get the lucky shot proc again here over on Fata, so might be able to turn this back around. Ku, though, turns around as well. He's gonna put out a couple clicks here. The creeps blocking a little bit. Will land a shackle. I don't think they quite want to commit too hard here with Zephyr, because he is sitting a little bit low and he does not have much regen. So they'll save their tree, and Cuckoo will back off. But there it is, another slow. Couple more plings coming through. They should be able to get this now. Nice shackle, and that's a kill for Cuckoo.
Yeah. Skeeter just can't help. He doesn't have any salve, so he was on 250 health sitting in the background just watching Fata make space for him, essentially. Didn't really get much out of that, but unfortunately for Tundra, this top lane is obviously going very poorly, but there is a very big positive in that mid lane. Nine is getting very farmed on his Coddle. Very curious, like I said before, to see which build he goes. I am imagining it will be Travel Dagon, but maybe he has a different strategy up his sleeve here. And the bottom lane for Batrider, which is definitely unfavored. He still has 17 CS, which honestly I would say is not bad here for 33, and he might even get a kill here now on Whitemon.
Yeah, it looks like I think he's gonna make it out.
He would have died if he Fireflied. I'm not sure why 33 didn't want to do that. If he's conserving mana, I'm positive that was a kill. But all right, maybe he wasn't positive, and it's easy for us to say, right, with the perspective and everything. But yeah, man, I gotta say they're actually just owning them top, and you gotta worry for Skeeter, like how he recovers here. He might just flat out go jungle now, level 4, just to like peace out. Going woods, that's one good thing about this lane is Pango is pretty slippery, so he can solo lane up here and leech experience. And that is indeed what they're gonna do. So abandoning top with that Wraith King.
Free Savage over here is taking a decent amount of damage. That Illuminate coming through actually does clip him. Not sure. Is he going to be able? No. Still has that Fairy Fire on him, and Nine's not going to get overly zealous here.
Trying to be cute, but no, he backed off. Yeah. Nine absolutely destroying this lane. 78 CS minutes 6. That's Coddle mid for you.
It's quite the
farming has never been a thing for Coddle.
Well, I mean, it is.
It's a strong Illuminate if it connects, but they are aware. He goes bottom and steals all of 33's farm. Okay.
They're looking to try to make something happen here as 33 has the fire. Fly trees do not like fire. Whitemon over here. Blinding light tossed out with the Illuminate. Down will go Whitemon, and Zephyr is ticking down. Carl's just hiding over here in the corner. He says, don't bring them to me, Zephyr. Do not bring them to me. But 33's on the hunt as they get another kill on this Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, so much damage with this Illuminate change. You see that one was probably channeled for about half or 2/3 duration. That still makes it a 350 damage nuke. And did connect it there. So rotation from Nine paying off big time. They're going mid on Skeeter, but turnaround's there. No RP, that was already used. He's in trouble here. 23 Savage, look at this damage coming in now.
Yes, that's so much.
Filthy. That's level 1 Solar Bind. Just wait until this is level 4 and he has a Dagon to boot. Triple null as well. We didn't mention that. Going for a lot of spell amp on the Coddle.
It's very interesting to watch, different metas unfold, and especially like you said, Coddle. Very seldomly do we ever consider him anything more than a support, so it's a lot of fun to see it being played in this manner.
Right, and it also the way that Tundra opened the draft, right? They went Coddle Pango, which is a classic 5+2 or 5+. Okay, I think Kuko's out. Yeah, they have no. Or is that Illuminate gonna make it in time?
Don't know.
It does a lot of damage. Does Fata have anything left? No, he's gonna live then. Okay, they need a little bit more. But yeah, I was gonna say. When you're a drafter and you see that opening Coddle Pango, the first thing that comes to your mind is probably not 5 Pango 2 Coddle, right? Like tradition. Oh, they did have enough. I thought he was still wind running. Never mind. He was.
That blinding light.
And a bit of extra damage from blinding light. Yeah. I actually thought he was fine, but wind run ran out. So the reason this is misleading is that you will pick this opener sometimes with a 5 Coddle and a 2 or 3 Pango because the Chakra Magic into Swashbuckle is a classic combination. It's also really good with the changes to Shield Crash now that you can refresh that one as well. You're seeing it here. Nice damage combo there.
Also had a couple of those clicks and probably made a difference as well.
So if this can be a flex opener for Tundra, that's actually really strong in drafting. If the Coddle is also a flex pick, that's another thing enemies need to worry about. Snake King.
Oh no, never mind. The rest of the team is here. The Rolling Thunder coming out from Fata. They're going to try to turn it back around. They almost managed to get Snake King with that Shockwave, but Zephyr will get burnt down by the Bat Rider. And 23 Savage is just going to back off. Still has a Haste Rune online. But it looks like this engagement's over.
And what we're seeing here is one of the big benefits of Pango as a 5 is if you do survive the laning stage and get through it and get level 6, this is such an amazing hero with nothing, right? Like just the spells are incredible. Rolling, oh my god, that damage. All right, see you later.
He was just a straight up support with the way that he melted. How the tables have turned, Cinderin.
You also got to consider, I bet the T1 players have almost no experience against this, right? That's the other thing. Like you're just not used to this kind of stuff. So really getting caught off guard here by what Nine's bringing. But yeah, the Pango, right? Fata, even without boots, just a Pango casting ulti is just a powerful hero. And you get that no matter what role he's on. Obviously, you're not going to get all of the luxury items like Ags, Maelstrom, or the Aura builds. But even just a Blink Dagger at some point on a 5 Pango can be really impactful. So I like to see it. Nine seems very much in his element on this hero, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen him play mid-Coddle before, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think
it's not his first rodeo.
We ever saw him during DPC ever build something like this either. It's looking very, very impressive for sure. It's breaking all sorts of records, or setting the records rather.
10-minute Dagon. Dagon travels and 3 nulls. So basically at this point, looking at the Radiant lineup, I think 9 can solo kill any hero except Magnus from full HP if he lands his combo. Solar Bind into Illuminate and Dagon will kill. Fata?
Fata is still taking plenty. Yeah, he's not even going to be able to land it. Cuckoo slaughters him. He'll follow up with that Ravage, but they will find the kill on Cuckoo. Whitemon now running away. They don't have anything to cancel the TP. Do they have enough damage, though?
Mistimed it slightly there.
And just like that, engagement's over.
Yep, another boost of travel here. So both Bat and Coddle with that global mobility. Pretty powerful thing to have. Having 2 travels in your team minute 10 makes it very difficult for the enemy team to take towers, because you always have these heroes with the resource of connecting very easily, while at the same time playing the opposite side of the map and just pushing the waves that little bit extra. Obviously for a hero like Bat Rider, the item is more or less a no-brainer. You want the movement speed in fights. This hero is all about movement. But for Coddle, you could imagine a build that started in a different way than this. But he has opted for it this time. 33, if he gets a lasso here, we'll see 33 Savage actually die from full HP right now.
33 is just going right over, finds himself
nice
up, they'll use the overgrowth by a bit more time. Looking possibly to use the RP, they will use it, but the blinding light coming through here from 9. They'll turn back around, they got the lasso, but they managed to get the finger kill, and 23 Savage falls, Whitemon to fall as well. As Fata is rolling around here, trying to set up for 9. There's out that Solar Bind, and they finish off with the double kill. At a tower.
Let's see if he goes Dagon 5 right away. He has the gold to upgrade it. There are other potential builds here for the Coddle. Obviously, he could get a defensive item if he feels like it, or could opt for something more utility-based or some more stats. I do think, all right, there's my answer. He is queuing it up. I feel like this is a universal thing that people do. If they want more than Dagon 1, they queue Dagon 5. Like,
yes.
Everyone.
You have your
never
life
queue
plans
Dagon 2.
set out before you.
It's like, okay.
Go big or go home. You don't want to just get a level 1 or level 2. Like, you go full into a Dagon.
Yeah.
No halfsies or anything.
He's queuing it out. Oh my god, he almost says Dagon 3 minute 12.
This is actually ludicrous.
Look at his net worth. He has the same as the next 2 heroes combined almost. We're 12 minutes in. It's like Alchemist tier, actually.
He's been able to just stack for himself as well, and just, you know, it's still a stacking meta. Although usually when we think stacking meta, we're thinking things like, you know, Sven and Magnus.
Absolutely.
But you know, 9, he's making it work.
It's one of those luxuries you have on any hero theoretically that is quick at pushing out the wave, right? Like you see a lot of these mid heroes traditionally, like Lina or Quap, as we will now see a dead Bat Rider more than likely. Good kill here for T1. They pick up 33. You push out the mid wave and then you go and stack small camp, and Coddle is just the best wave pusher in the entire game that early. Like when you have, I think level, it might need to be level 4, but almost level 3 Illuminate will almost wipe out the wave. And you can obviously cast 2 of them in a row if you have Chakra Magic ready very quickly. Push the wave as soon as they meet in the middle, you shove it out, and then you go and stack whatever 2 camps you want. Because not only can you stack like Lina and Quap can, but you can also stack multiple camps at once because you have so long range on Illuminate. And as is being pointed out here with Boots of Travel, you also have 537 move speed. So that does make for a very quick and easy rotation in that jungle or wherever you want to go.
I mean, he is on a horse.
He is literally just farming so much. It's unbelievable. Well, it's been a lot of talk about Coddle. I like talking about special things like this a lot, but what else is going on? Well, Trend is dying here. I think that is... Oh, he missed?
Yeah, he was trying with the piggy pole to get out of there quickly.
Missed the Illuminate.
Maybe the pig pole helped out a little with a little burst. Unexpected.
Did miss that combo. So Magnus for T1 is obviously keeping up pretty well here. You know, comparatively, not to Coddle, but to the rest of the game, 23 Savage is doing great. And one thing about this mid Coddle is it might look flashy and crazy, which it is, but obviously it does fall off. Like this hero does not have the scaling potential to the same extent as the classic mids do, which makes it a high risk, high reward kind of pick. And 9 needs to be careful not to make mistakes and keep ramping up like this. On the flip side, you look at T1, who scale very well. Magnus carry, they have the Quap. The Wind Ranger is at a point relative to other cores, which is okay. And we also have to remember, yeah, Coddle's having a great game, but Wraith King started off so abysmally badly that he's still, like, this could still become a hard game for Tundra, even though they're relatively far ahead. It could also get easy.
It could, absolutely. Sonic Wave will get used in the top lane. They're a little bit too far, though, as they'll clean up Carl, clean up Fata. Now Whitemon running for his life. He did manage to get himself the finger kill, but he is definitely going to pay for that. As I hear a lasso over here on the side, they've got 23 Savage trying to hold him into place a little bit longer. That Solar Bind following up with the Blinding Light. This is not looking good for him. He can't even get the RP off.
He was definitely fake casting that. That would have been a total waste.
It would have. Well, we saw another RP earlier, remember? Where it was a desperation play to try to get away.
Sometimes sometimes Dota players are humans as well.
Only sometimes, though.
Yeah, my experience in pub games, it's not often, but sometimes people are indeed playing like humans. And yeah, I mean, obviously that RP would have been terrible, but sometimes you just, in the heat of the moment, you're like, okay, maybe I can survive, and you just instinctively do it. I personally think he was just fake casting there and wasn't going to use it. But when you fake cast, sometimes you fail and actually cast. So
well, that's when you get the sorry.
Be careful when you toy around with it. But yeah.
Right. I think it's interesting, too. You look at like what 23 Savage is considering over here on this Magnus. He has the Blink Dagger queued up now, but the immediate thing afterwards is, of course, the BKB.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. And they do take down Zephyr over here while we're discussing that. But 9 is just, this is his personal playground. He is just able to run around, demand everybody's lunch money, just take it from him with a flashlight.
Pretty much.
And wherever you are, he is too. It's a nightmare scenario.
When's the last time you saw Coddle be the playground bully? That's literally it. Like, he's actually just going from lane to lane, stealing all the farm, killing whoever he sees. Let's see here.
Hey, Cuckoo, that's a nice life you got there. Shame if something happened to it, as 9 and Snaking just chase after him, push back. More than enough damage to remove Cuckoo. Oh, okay, how about Team 1, though? Looking to make a counterplay. 23
Oh,
Savage.
they broke the smoke there. Nice play from Snaking as well as 33. They positioned themselves well. Break the smoke and get the hell out of there immediately. So counterplay failed. Looking like 9 is queuing up currently an Octarine core rather than finishing Dagon 5. I think he's sitting on Dagon 3 at the moment. So it's what I said, you know, you queue up Dagon 5. That doesn't mean you always make it, but you will queue it up immediately if you want to upgrade your Dagon to more than 1. But I guess what he realized after getting Dagon 3 was that he needs a reliable way of making his own moves. The only catch in his team is Batrider, and you can't rely on him to always be present. Wraith King is exploring the depths of the jungle. So with that dagger, it's way easier for him to make sure that he can set up his combination.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the relic on the Wraith King at the very least. So he should be picking that up shortly, and then eventually that Radiance will be online. But right now, Tundra really throwing their weight around here. They know that they're in a nice position.
Could be worse.
And they've just been buying so much time for Skeeter with these engagements, and the fact that, you know, it's interesting too because, you know, you have this Coddle bouncing from each lane and pushing it all out, and in some ways you're a little concerned for the Wraith King, right? Because you want him to be able to get enough farm, but he has had full run of the jungle. They really have not bothered him.
Oh, they've struggled, right? Because of the pressure on all the lanes. That's what Caudal Core does for you, is he pushes out all the waves, and then the additional benefit... Oh, he died in Fountain! He actually died. The swing, sometimes melee attacks in Dota can have 7,000 range. It has been known to happen before. Tidehunter has very long arms.
Yes. You could almost say that he drags his knuckles all the way down to the ground. He is a very large lad.
We're gonna see a replay of it here. So the last thing that does kill him here is actually an attack, as Anchor Smash has been used. It will be the next swing here of snaking that hits at basically the same frame the Town Portal completes and kills him in base. But yeah, like the Caudal just pushing out the side lanes and putting so much pressure, it is bound to free up the Wraith King, because you might be like, yeah, how is Wraith King just free farming? Why don't they make moves on him? But they need to... The whole map is on fire. You're running around like firefighters, putting out these fires in the pushed lanes, and every time you're there as a firefighter, you just risk getting hit by an ion cannon that just comes in from the side, right? So it is pretty terrifying when you get into this kind of position. And it is not easy being T1 in this game. Nice Roshan kill here from Tundra, identifying that, first of all, they have a really good ward in the enemy triangle to cover for the counter engage, but also just the kind of position that they're in the game in general allows for this. Yeah, Cuckoo is in trouble.
Have anything to cancel his TP or enough damage? Yes, they do.
Nice rolling thunder.
Nothing like the ball rolling past you asking for a high five. Can you imagine if Indiana Jones was like that? And you just, ball rolling at you, wants a high five, you're like, oh God. No, not like this.
That's not the movie I watched. I find it interesting, by the way, that Fata is opting for the Solar Crest rather than a Blink Dagger. Obviously, support players will often gravitate toward items that enable their cores, but with the lineup that he's playing with, I think a Dagger would also have a lot of impact this game. The only things that really stop him from rolling are Overgrowth as well as RP, and if he has the Dagger, he can guaranteed connect on at least one of them when he sees the fight develop. But this way, he's just looking to give Skitter the best possible game he can, obviously help him kill Roche with the Medallion. But I did think he was going to opt for Blink. I don't think this is worse, it's just different than what I expected.
I mean, it lines up with what Tundra likes to do generally, right? Because they like to have like a steroid, they like to just pump up Skeeter to the point where he is just a big, bad, evil guy here that's going to be able to take down the enemy, so.
He's opted for the Midas into Radiance, so is basically fully recovered. He has finally overtaken Magnus after 21 minutes here of total and utter domination from 9. And yeah, it was kind of bound to happen at some point unless T1 could consistently just outstack, so Magnus can farm more.
All right, there's going to be a lasso and the drag back, so that is going to be the end of Quap. Whitemon here is going to be able to teleport away, but I'm sure he was feeling a little nervous there for a moment.
And T1 are just unable to get a tower, right? They try here, but they haven't taken a tier 1 yet, 21 minutes in. Again, I'm harping on it a lot, but again, this mid Caudal, the wave clear, the pressure, makes it difficult for your team to find a way to open up this ever-important safe lane tower of the enemy team. They just haven't been able to get there. Like, they're always being pushed in, they're always being pressured. Just go and show up, just shove out a wave and leave, right? On to the next. And even their Pango 5 can push waves. Literally all their heroes can push waves, right? And yeah, T1 are really cornered in this game. It honestly hasn't really felt like they've got to play their lineup yet.
I wonder.
That's rare to say against this team 22 minutes in, but I just, yeah.
I'm wondering how much of this was just a monkey wrench in the draft plan, so to speak, that they just were not expecting the mid Caudal. Because
this
generally,
is absolutely surprised them.
Right, because generally, you know, you see something squishy that's, you know, being placed in that core position that's not typically there. You make sure you have something that can rotate, that can shut them down early. And in this case, they were just unprepared for it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Cuckoo rocks right into the welcoming party of Tundra. Plenty of damage coming out here, the Rolling Thunder, even on top of that, and Skeeter gets the kill.
And we're back to square one again, where Tundra are going to push in all 3 lanes. Just basically keeping T1, keeping them contained. They have about like maybe 40% of the map. And while that might not sound awful, if you're playing under those conditions for like 15 minutes, it shows on the bank account. It just does. The gold graph tells a very clear story in this game. Like, it's constantly going down. There's like this tiny little bumps. I think those might be bounty runes for T1 or something like
Yikes.
that. Outside of that, they're just non-stop getting outmaneuvered, outpushed on the map. So,
you know, it's crazy because like a lot of us were talking, we're saying like, you know, T1, they're going to be so strong, they look so good.
Yeah.
And right now it feels like they're still struggling to find their identity with this. Not even necessarily the patch. It just feels like they're a little lost just in general.
Yeah, against, I think against Team Spirit earlier today, they played against something more normal, if you will.
Oh, boy.
So that was the series where they probably should have done better because they should have been less surprised.
Right.
A game like this, I understand why you struggle against this if you have literally zero experience. I'm not going to call it a pocket strategy because it isn't necessarily really. I don't even know if Tundra were really planning this with their opener or just knew that, okay, this is an option we have. Let's see if we want to do it eventually, and they just saw the conditions for it. But like, either this is extremely powerful and just hard to solve, or T1 don't know what to do about it, or both. And I'm leaning toward a little bit of both after seeing it. I think this mid coddle is actually super legit. But they're also getting rolled on top of that. It's not just the coddle.
23 Savage has to pop the BKB to run away from a coddle, which is a little surprising here, but he's just going to BKB, teleport out, and pretend this never happened.
He grabbed quite a lot of the stuff there. Nicely done.
He's that little piggy pole to hide over on the side. But yeah, I'm looking at Tundra's draft too, and I'm like you said, was this, you know, intended always to be, you know, the 9 coddle? Like, is this draft the kind of situation that would protect it if they had determined that it was going to be mid?
It's just the thing about the opener, right? With the coddle Pango, the flexibility that you have. If you're a team that is comfortable playing mid coddle and off roll Pango, then you have the option, and then you wait and see. Like, maybe this could have been a game where mid coddle was super counterpicked, or the matchup was just awful or whatever. Then maybe you don't do it. But coddle has no bad matchup here. And I'm trying to think of theoretically what is a bad matchup for mid coddle. Like, who can deal with Illuminates just pushing waves? Like, what hero solves that? Nyx can carapace it every time to harass you, but I think that still isn't enough. And outside of that, I don't know, maybe Viper standing on your hill or something like that could be a thing.
Are they going in on this, though, is the question. 'Cause they are still smoked. They're about to run out of time. And they have the vision. They have the wards up, but looks like they're a little scared over on the side of T1. Looking for that perfect opportunity, but they're also searching for the rest of the team, which is showing up now here in the mid lane.
Seeing Skitter rock the good old school Radiance Manta build. He is not going for this build because Radiance Manta is not nearly as good as it used to be. He needs the Manta against Trant. It's just, you see a lot of games, carries will go both BKB and Manta against Trant because they need to be able to pre-pop one to go into the fight safely, and then they need to have the ability to break the...
Okay, that's a nice follow-up with that Shackle, plus the Ravage. It doesn't matter, 23 Savage, he's dead. He can't even hit that BKB as they'll turn back around, get the kill on Cuckoo. And Fata's just rolling on into the base, waving hello as they start bringing down the door. Whitemon trying to go and just remove that sentry. Does do a nice little sidestep here, 33 following up. Throw out the hit and the Dagon damage. Oh my word, plus the Illuminate. Whitemon, he thought he was gonna get away there. He was wrong.
Yep. And this tower is going down, and that is the living armor use. The barracks going to fall a lot faster. They're really hounding him here.
They want to find Zephyr over here in the stream. They're just burning down the woods.
No detection.
They have detection. They do. They're going to chase him all the way back into his base, and they still manage to get the kill. Tundra is just running non-stop over at T1, who just were unprepared for the strategy. Carl now needs to be very, very careful. The stun connects. So they have the Dagon. They're more than enough damage, and that time it's going to be 33. Who gets himself the double kill. God, I love Dota. I love seeing like different things like this. How many games do you know that you can see something that is just so different?
Yeah, creativity has always been one of the coolest things about this game. How you can get the next big idea or whatever. Very close to getting the blink off here. Look at this spell burst combo. So they get the crit from Wraith King, and then I think that Dagon was, I want to say like 800, 900 damage because of the Magic Amp. And then the full damage Illuminate there. 666. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh no.
The devil cometh. And the form of, you know, are you a lore person?
A lore person?
Yes, are you a lore person?
Not in particular, but
because everyone thinks like Keeper of the Light, you know, he's just this.
one of the 4 fundamentals.
Yeah. He's actually got quite a dark past that people aren't familiar with. He is not just a creeper with a flashlight. He's, you know, a mass genocidal monster.
Oh, well.
And he showed it here in this game.
I guess he has softened up then, so that's great. It's good. It's good that you can improve. You know, everyone can better themselves. You can go from a whatever you just said.
You can't even finish that thought right now. We just watched Whitemon absolutely get obliterated. They go on the back line. There's the RP though, and they have the damage coming out from Q here, so they'll be able to finally stop 9, finally get that kill. But they do buy back immediately. Now Carl trying to run away. They'll use the Ravage. They managed to go stun over onto the side, onto 23 Savage here. Can they finish him off again? It's looking pretty gosh darn good. Down he goes. And Skeeter just marches right on into the base, starts whacking away at the tower. He's got the rest of the team right behind him. 9 already looking for the opening. The hit back, Illuminate off to the side. Doesn't quite connect, but this is still looking like a dead Cuckoo, and indeed it is. So this living armor desperately trying to protect the tower. Wind Ranger buying back, wants to be a part of this fight. They're not happy about this. As you can hear, there's a lasso. This is not looking good now, as Carl is the next one to fall, and they would love to get their hands on Cuckoo as well, although they go skewered right back. 27 doing everything they can. They do manage to take down 33, and they punish for going just a little bit too far, but they will end up losing Cuckoo. That is a dieback.
And one more thing about this, the cooldowns on Tundra, right? You don't have Ravage and you don't have Lasso, but the other heroes just have very low cooldowns all the time. Wraith King, Pango, and Coddle are just good to go. They just want to fight non-stop. And when you're this far ahead on a hero like Keeper of the Light, and you can just spam out your spells in the Dagon whenever you want, you can compensate for the fact that you have a key cooldown that is not available, because your spells are just better, and you have them more often than the enemy team. I really like this disengage, by the way. I think it's a great read. They have a deep ward in the Radiant base, so they realize, okay, the smoke is coming out, and they back off and take Roche, keep building their advantage, and keep T1 playing dodgeball a little bit longer, basically having to constantly avoid Illuminates and Aghanim's Gushes flying in from everywhere.
Just all
as well as Flame Breaks, Swashbuckles.
Line Dota, Cinder. This is the way of the future. Last patch was all Circle Dota. This is all going to be Line Dota.
That is true. We have evolved.
We have
just
indeed.
Like Coddle.
To our final form, 23 Savage trying to just get this kill on Snaking. It's not quite successful here. Silence does get thrown out over on Skeeter. 9 has that Aegis. They're just trying to run this little piggy home, and he's trying to duke around, but Zephyr runs right into the illusions. That's another kill now for 9. They do have buyback on the Treant, not on this Lion though, as Tundra's just marching right down on into the base. Gonna get a little nice D-ward along the way. And it's funny to watch a Keeper of the Light who is so very lethal just boop over onto the base.
I'm curious to see the damage numbers when this game ends. Just the breakdown of how much each spell did.
Ooh, they want 23 Savage again. Look at them. Hunting.
Well, we can see here the total damage. He has done more than the next 2 heroes in his team combined. But also how much of that damage is Illuminate and how much is Dagon is pretty interesting.
Now, is this the opportunity for them? Because, no, they're coming too fast again. I was going to say, the team is actually split up. Perhaps they can make something happen, but they still just are struggling over on the side of T1.
Non-stop
Savage
poke.
just immediately dragged back. They have the lasso. They have the damage coming out from the Keeper of the Light. They'll go for the overgrowth, just trying to get anything that they possibly can. They do manage to take down 33. They use the Sonic Wave. They'll take down Carl, though. The GGs just get dropped. They've had enough of this, dare I say it, shellacking.
Absolute beatdown. They got, flat out just got stomped. It was cool to see. It was cool to see in this final